In Oldboy, the main character of the story eats a live, uncooked octopus, both in a desire to touch something living, but also to reveal his dehumanized state after 15 years of isolated imprisonment.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
But consuming raw food can also serve more practical purposes. The raw can come to be synonymous with gaining natural strength and adapting oneself to an uncivilized environment. Similarly, the rules and expectations of a warm meal can be broken to acquaint the civilized with the realities of an uncivilized world.
Easy Company is running up curry! Move!
Bring it over! It's like a piece of charcoal! Bring it over here!
But this desire for the natural and the raw can also showcase one's incapability of building and maintaining civilized human relationships.
Pardon me about a steak, huh?
Food can also be used to indicate a perceived level of savagery on a societal level, be it in our own community or in those of others, depicting morally despicable or highly unconventional foods as markers of uncivility, setting more cultured protagonists apart from the exotic and wild world which they inhabit.
Chilled a monkey brain.
And that, when taken to its extreme, can degenerate into perhaps the ultimate symbol for savagery.
I'm a cannibal, hombre! We're gonna fucking eat your ass!
This, in turn, can be used as a tool to completely break a character,
I made you eat your parents.
or it can serve as a menacing and highly disturbing form of antagonism and inhumanity.
No, wait! Cut at the table. Okay.
Stephen Manell argues that another essential element of civilized food consumption is a regulated appetite. The civilized don't merely eat out of immediate hunger,
What are you doing?
but collectively decide when to do so together.
Beautiful.
I love you, darling girl.
And so a dinner can be the scene of civilized harmony, but it can also be used to invert this harmony, revealing tensions between polar opposite characters and even devolving into gluttony and depravity, often mockingly depicting inner problems of characters and societies alike.
You guys hungry?
I'm starving.
But if overabundance and wastefulness of food are connected to uncivility, so is scarcity.
You're gonna die for some chickens.
Someone is.
Just like in real life, a lack of food can be utilized to bring about the deepest forms of humanity in people, and at times the very darkest aspects of a character's personality. Cooked food can be a battleground for perceived moral superiority and higher social status.
We will be serving white cake.
Those who own the food, have the most of it, or have the final say in how it should be prepared, hold a sense of power over.
Some sandwiches.
I think it's done.
Let's eat! Maybe 2 hours still.
Cooking and cooked food are almost as ubiquitous in our films as they are aspects of our daily lives. But whether you see cooked food as nothing more than fuel to keep your body from dying,
Think of it as meat.
No! Spit that out right now!
or as a piece of art that almost doesn't deserve to be eaten.
Oh my god.
People eat because they're hungry. I want to make food that makes people stop eating.
For a good filmmaker or writer, the cook and his food are always more than just another prop in a scene or a cheap way to cover up a lifeless story with some pleasant eye candy.
That's a chef's knife.
Not too fine, eh?
The role of the chef as the passionate mediator of raw nature to high culture has served as an apt allegory for the process and frustrations of the Hollywood filmmaker. Like the filmmaker, the chef is often depicted as a visionary artist of sorts, whose creativity has been shackled by his superiors,
So now suddenly you're going to be an artist. Well, be an artist on your own time.
or who believes his work is underappreciated,
No. She's a Philistine. I'm not gonna talk to her.
or overly critiqued by those who don't have anything to add themselves.
For the chef to overcharge us for his insecurity and lack of imagination.
But beyond sly allegories, the ubiquity of cooks and hot dishes in cinema can also reveal something meaningful about our humanity. In his book Catching Fire, How Cooking Made Us Human, primatologist Richard Wrangham made the controversial but thought-provoking claim that it is the act of cooking that is the primary distinguishing feature of humanity, and it has played an enormous part in our evolution as a species.
It's fucking unbelievable, man.
Is it?
We are tied to our adapted diet of cooked food, and the results pervade our lives, from our bodies to our minds. We humans are the cooking apes, the creatures of the flame, and so we should indeed pin our humanity on cooks. In Ratatouille, we can see this notion of cooking as a civilizing process play out in the transformation of Remy the country rat into a 5-star chef in the culinary capital of the world. Contrary to his fellow rats, Remy chooses to walk on 2 feet, cares about hygiene and self-control,
No! Don't just fork it down!
and learns how to read, all because of his passion for cooking.
There's only one way to eat a brace of conies.
Ruthless and unpredictable nature of a character who likes to hide behind the gentle mask of a civilized friend.
Enfin, bon, ce ne devait pas être important.
I said we are totally booked. 2 at 9? Perfect. See you then.
Food is a status symbol we can use to impress others with, and use to veil our own real personality.
We have to promote general social concern.
It's a symbol through which we can gauge the matter of control a character has over his life, and a means through which to maintain an artificial sense of civility, juxtaposed against the contrasting reality of a character or of the outside world.
We made it, dude.
But just as cooked food can hide faults in a person or society, it can also serve as a symbol of freedom and hope.
I think it's done, Daddy.
Cooking and cooked food as civilizers can be used to bring people together.
You know, the thing about good food, it brings folks together from all walks of life.
Whether people with wildly varying personalities, cultures, or even those in an active state of war. A belly well filled functions as one of the prime factors in creating a civilized environment. It is perhaps no wonder then that we've chosen the dinner table as one of the prime places from where intimate relationships can grow and bloom.
Now you know. To eat good food is to be close to God. See?
Meticulously cooked food, like an exceptional book, a painting, or a great piece of cinema, can have a transformative effect on characters and people alike, bringing back memories.
The smell of this meal, instantly, it brings you back to my childhood.
And taking our breaths away in a moment of peaceful bliss.
Damn it!
This is so fucking good, I should kill you.
In cinema, as well as in the real world, cooking and cooked food reveal their connectedness with our humanity by making those who engage in it more human, bringing us closer to ourselves and rekindling old passions and relationships. This uniquely human trait has gone hand in hand with the evolution of our species from a wild group of primates into cultured civilizations who owe a great deal to the very first chefs of our race. For filmmakers, the interest and usage of cooking and food in film is, and perhaps ought to be, not just limited to an allegory about the frustrations of art, but it's about cooked food as one of the main civilizing drives of our species. Because the food we eat in our daily lives, and especially the food characters cook and consume in movies, is in a lot of ways universally connected to the overarching topics of all stories.